Hey guys, today we're going to be building a full inventory for CSGO for under $15. That's $15 AUD. It cost me a total of $13.71, so I fit in the budget, which is going to be just under $9.50 USD. And this has a skin for every gun in the game, minus the gloves, knife, and the Zeus, actually. So without any more yapping, let's get into it. For the Glock, I went with the Bunsen burner in field tested. It's going to cost you 51 cents. The wear rating isn't as important on this weapon, as it just makes it darker, so field test is great. USP, went with the Ticket to Hell. Minimal wear. It's $1.24. It's a little bit more expensive than the Glock, but it's harder to find a nice skin for cheap for the USP. I like the Ticket to Hell though. I've gone with midwear since it looks so much better than field tested, but I think it's worth the extra money. For the dualies, went with the Dueling Dragons, field tested, 36 cents. It's a nice looking skin. It's a classic cheap option for the dualies. It's been around for a while. 5.7, I went with the Flame Test, field tested again. It's 10 cents. It's a nice skin and it's 10 cents. For the P250, I went with the Valence, field tested, 16 cents. It's a nice decent skin for cheap. It's been around for a while. Tech 9, Red Quartz, field tested, 12 cents. Cheap skin. It looks okay. It's definitely try and find one with a better float if you can. It's a nice addition. CZ Auto, I went with the Polymer, minimal wear for 24 cents. There's not a huge amount of options for the CZ in way of budget skins, but personally, I like this one the best. Desert Eagle. For the Deagle, I went with the Light Rail, field tested for $1.30. It's an excellent choice for the Deagle, and it matches the budget. It's also another skin where wear rating doesn't really matter as much, so field tested is perfect. For you Revolver fanboys out there, I went with the Grip in field tested for 10 cents. It's a nice cheap skin, looks alright. For the P2000, I went with the Gnarled, field tested, 9 cents. It's a pretty nice skin, honestly, I really like it. So moving on to the SMGs, started off with the Mac 10, I went with the Ensnared for field tested, 9 cents again. It's another one from the Dreams and Nightmares collection here. It just looks really good and it's really cheap. For the MP5, I went with the Necro Jr. Minimal wear, 13 cents. Once again, Dreams and Nightmares. This case has some great cheap skins, so you can't really go wrong. MP7, I went with the Cyrus, field tested, 23 cents. As far as the cheaper MP7 skins go, I just think this one's my favorite. MP9, went with the Capillary, field tested. This one's 42 cents, so it's a little bit more expensive. And the cheap MP9 skins just don't hit the mark, so I spent a little bit more, got something that actually looks half decent. PP Bison, the Runic, field tested, 9 cents. I think it looks really good. Simple, clean design, really cheap, so you can't really go wrong. P90, I went with the Grim, minimal wear, 19 cents. I love this skin, it looks great, and it's under 20 cents. UMP, I went with the Motorized in field tested for 16 cents. It's a new skin from the Kilowatt case, and it is a nice cheap skin. Moving on, we've got a Mag 7 Foresight minimal wear, 14 cents. It's another one from the Dreams and Nightmares. I love these skins, and they are so affordable. The Nova Candy Apple minimal wear, 10 cents. Red. It's a red skin. Sort of Yorick field tested, 19 cents. I like this skin. It's my favorite for the price range. The XM, I went with the Irizumi, field tested, 16 cents. It's another new skin from the Kilowatt case, and it just looks really good. For the M249, I went with the Spectre in minimal wear, 19 cents. It's a decent pick for a not so decent gun. Negev, I went with the Drop Me in minimal wear, 16 cents. And it's probably the best pick for a cheap Negev because there's not many great options here. Moving on to the rifles, we'll start off with the AK-47. You might have guessed it, but I did go with the Elite build and field tested, $2.40. It's a classic AK skin. For the price, you can't really get much better than that. It's great for a heap of stickers or to just leave it as is. For the price, I definitely think this is the one I'd be choosing. The M4A1S, it's got a lot more options. I went with the Night Terror in field tested, and it's 64 cents. For 64 cents, this is an awesome skin. I like this one a lot. M4A4, I went with the Griffin in field tested, $2.83. Unlike the M4A1S, the M4A4 cheap skins are not very good, so I went with the Griffin. It looks really nice. For the AUG, I went with the Tomcat, field tested, 10 cents. And for 10 cents, you get an org that looks pretty clean. The wear rating only affects its brightness, so it doesn't look as scuffed as any of the other orgs. For the FAMAS, Survivor Z, field tested, 32 cents. Looks pretty decent. I like it. Galil, Cold Fusion, minimal wear, 12 cents. Really cheap option for the Galil, but it looks pretty good. SG553, I went with the Darkwing in field tested for 61 cents. I use this skin for ages. I really like it, and that's why I put it here. It's also pretty cheap, fits in the budget. For the Scar, I went with the Poultrygeist in field tested for 9 cents. Cheap skin for the Scar. Have some fun and find a pattern that you like out of these ones, because they are different. For the G3 SG1, I went with the Hunter in field tested. It's 13 cents. It's a nice, clean, cheap skin for the auto sniper. I've kept these two very cheap because they aren't really going to be used, but they are pretty decent. For the Scout, I went with the Disaster in field tested, 16 cents. It's the new Scout skin from the Kilowatt case, and I think it looks pretty clean and it fits the budget. And finally, with the AWP, I went with the classic, the Worm God, field tested, $2.15. Finish it with a classic, an excellent pick for a budget loadout. My first AWP skin, and it's another skin in the tier list with a wear rating that only makes it darker. Helps keep the loadout looking clean and not scratched up. I love the Worm God. What more can I say about it? And that's it. A nice budget loadout with a skin for every gun. Honestly, this took me longer than I thought it would to get a list together. So let me know what you think. I'll be doing more of these, so if you want to see me do loadouts with a certain budget or theme, let me know. Anyway, cheers.